the real question next is sort of what happens from a policy standpoint. We've heard a bunch of different suggestions to include a strategic Bitcoin reserve. But I think what I'm really most excited about is even beyond Bitcoin. Over the last few months, we have seen fintechs like Stripe and Cash App and others across the ecosystem use stable coins at scale for payments. Right, we're actually seeing the technology used. I think Bitcoin traditionally has been this investment mechanism or store of value, but what we're really seeing is people start to use the technology for cross-border payments, for remittances, to buy things. And I think that's when we're really going to see this ecosystem grow when we talk about digital assets. So I think on the one hand, you have Bitcoin, which has been I think this really incredible success story, and even in more bolstered by the election. But I think what we're really seeing, and I'm most excited about, is the technology being used in a meaningful way for cross-border payments and beyond.
You have a view on what Bitcoin ultimately is going to be worth? Is there an ultimate way?
I don't. I think we're going to see it go significantly higher. I think things like a strategic Bitcoin reserve in the United States, and it's not just the United States. I think, when countries around the world look at the election, look at some of the campaign promises, and now look at what the Trump administration is already doing, I think we're starting to see other countries and even states. I spoke to folks from Texas recently that are looking to build a strategic Bitcoin reserve. So I think we're going to see it go significantly higher. But I'm definitely, I'm a former prosecutor, not a guy who's going to necessarily make predictions on the ultimate price of Bitcoin.
We've got a pro-crypto president now, right? He's actually gone on television and spoken at events saying he wants to create a strategic Bitcoin reserve. We've got companies following the U.S. MicroStrategy playbook, adding Bitcoin to their balance sheets. We've got a pro-crypto SEC chair nominee in Paul Atkins. Cantor Fitzgerald, his company owns about 5% of Tether.
He predicts that AGI will, quote, probably get developed during the president's term.
The bill before us would grant law enforcement significant authority to intercept private electronic communications without consent. For example, the bill would allow the government to conduct dragnet surveillance of the phones innocent Americans traveling through U.S. airports as long as the government claims they are doing it to neutralize a drone. So in order to look at the information that might be coming to a drone, it may be that you capture all the information of everybody surrounding an airport.
Welcome to the Cryptoteacher. And I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And make sure you're joining the Patrons. If you're not a part of the Patrons, make sure you're hitting the Cash App. And also, guys, make sure you go like and follow the TikTok. More videos to come. And as we can see, stable coins will definitely get regulation this month. But then also AI is going to become more advanced. And due to inflation, emerging markets are being pushed to stable coins. And over these next 2 years, we're going to see mass layoffs. So they're going to have to bring in UBI. And that's going to push the globe over to stable coins. And remember, the Cryptoteacher told you. And we keep hearing about a strategic reserve from Trump. And we clearly heard it from Jerome Powell. It's not going to happen unless a law changes, and they're not seeking that. But remember, guys, the only thing we need is one big distraction, and everybody will forget about this Bitcoin reserve. And we have Sam Altman says AGI will probably be done during Trump's term. And we know that to be a fact. They already have the data centers. They're getting these supercomputers, this quantum computing up and running. And these robots, algorithms, and drones will be able to run the economy without a human involved. Remember these synthetic minds with these supercomputers? These machines will be able to almost do anything a human can do. And remember, the Cryptoteacher told you. Now we have the Fed's vice chair steps down, moved to governor, and don't forget he was an advisor for Ripple. And whoever gets this job next is definitely going to have to look away, because the Fed is going to have to pull off some magic tricks. And remember, the Cryptoteacher told you. And we have Justin Trudeau steps down after he moves the NWO's agenda in Canada. So now he gets to ride off in the sun. And we've heard from Trump saying that Canada can be the 51st state We know in history we've always heard about the North American Union, Canada, United States, and Mexico, but I definitely don't see that happening. Right now, we have Mexico making a lot of money off of China. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. Now we have the Trump tariffs, and we had a Washington Post article, and this tells you your life is an illusion and TV is your reality. Because we have these mainstream media TV shows are going with the article instead of what Trump is saying. The article is not true. This is unbelievable. This lets you know you're just in a movie. That's why you sit back, get your popcorn, and let it play out. But China, of course, will also put those tariffs on. But remember, guys, this is a plan. It moves in phases. These tariffs are going to weigh on the economy, which is going to cause mass layoffs, which will allow them to bring in the machines and these digital currencies. Remember, problem, reaction, solution, and playing the Hegelian dialectic is undefeated. And remember, the crypto teacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
Sarah, thanks. Michael Barr, the Fed's vice chair for bank supervision, he announces he will step down from that position on February 28th of this year or earlier if a successor is confirmed, but he will stay on as a board governor. Barr was confirmed as bank supervision in 2022. His term runs through 2026. His term as Fed governor runs through 2032. I'll come back to that in just a second. The board announcing it will not conduct any major rulemaking about the banking industry until a new vice chair is confirmed. Now, about this resignation, Barr is quoted in a press release saying the risk of a dispute over the position could be a distraction from our mission. In the current environment, I've determined that I would be more effective in serving the American people from my role as governor. He was appointed vice chair for supervision in 2022. He was an assistant secretary for the Treasury for Financial Institutions under President Barack Obama and a professor of law at the University of Michigan.
Carl, that's right. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is speaking now in Ottawa. Trudeau is announcing that he will step down as Liberal Party leader and step down as Prime Minister after the Liberal Party has selected a replacement. Here's what the Prime Minister had to say just moments ago.
To fight because I care deeply about Canadians, I care deeply about this country, and I will always be motivated by what is in the best interest of Canadians. And the fact is, despite best efforts to work through it, Parliament has been paralyzed for months after what has been the longest session of a minority parliament in Canadian history. That's why this morning I advised the Governor-General that we need a new session of Parliament. She has granted this request, and the House will now be prorogued until March 24th. Over the holidays, I've also had a chance to reflect and have had long talks with my family about our future. Throughout the course of my career, any success I have personally achieved has been because of their support and with their encouragement. So last night over dinner, I told my kids about the decision that I'm sharing with you today. I intend to resign as party leader, as Prime Minister, after the party selects its next leader through a robust, nationwide, competitive process.
Look, if Donald Trump is right, he has a set of tariffs that would be awful. If the Washington Post is right, he'd have a set of tariffs that were merely bad. Either way, this just isn't what we want to see at this point in the economy.
But how much does it matter to how the economy actually does in 2025? People disagree about the extent to which tariffs, depending on the goods, depending on where they're, the extent to which they're made domestically, would actually affect the economy. Can you sort of lay out how you're thinking about where they might hit that would be particularly bad and where it might matter less?
Yeah, so first of all, there's inflation. That's gotten a lot of attention, but it's probably not a huge impact on inflation, but even a few tenths on the inflation rate could be the difference between the Fed being able to cut rates and it having to hold off or even partially reverse. The bigger issue is that with tariffs, you get less imports and you get a stronger dollar, and so as a result, you get less exports. That's bad both for consumers and jobs. And finally, according to the Washington Post report, even these limited tariffs would include tariffs on things like steel. That would actually hurt manufacturing because we have many more workers that work in industries that use steel. It'll make those industries like the auto industry less competitive, have a harder time globally. And so it wouldn't help manufacturing. It would actually.
Just want to remind you that we're an integral part of the global economy, and many of your companies in America are dependent on our global supply chain. China, as an example, all the emphasis on drones flying over American cities and American military bases. China is the #1 manufacturer of drones in the world and #2 in parts that other manufacturers use, just as an example. So, yes, I think this is symbolic. And we know for a fact that the Trump administration is going to get tough on China as they were in the first administration, likely even more tougher, and China will likely respond.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of a huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we can have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting at more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets. Now,
it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy. And you know, when the dealers have to step in to save a Treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence.
Cryptoteacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get on stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing they were still getting that free money, what are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.